in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Flooded streets in the Ridgeland Park area leads to a big problem for water consumers across the capital. Good evening, everyone. I'm Charisma Robinson.
And I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. Many are outraged as they experience little water or no supply today for several hours. While we're not sure what caused the problem, we can tell you that it started in the Ridgeland Park area where crews have been working from this morning. C.S. Adley tells us as she went there about what she found.
On Thursday, officials from the Water and Sewage Corporation confirmed in a press release that it experienced a major failure on the water transmission main on Roberta Avenue, Ridgeland Park West. And they say this failure resulted in low pressure and or no water to parts of northern, central, southern, and eastern New Providence. Crews have been on site all day working to fix the issue, but still that didn't stop a resident whose house is located just yards away from where they were working, and Annerly Heiler, the owner of A&T Gardening, from expressing frustration with the situation.
If you step inside, you will see the disaster of the water inside here. You wasn't able to have any customers.
With her shoes covered in plastic bags, Heiler could be seen sweeping water out of the store. Her business, which is just across the street from where the teams could be seen working, was flooded.
From after 10 o'clock this morning, water, I don't know what the Ministry of Works were doing up there, but water started flowing. Nobody came down here to say anything that they were having this problem today. This is the first time this has ever happened here. I have been working at this store here for over 20 years. Over 20 years I've been on Robinson Road. Even when they had all the road construction, never. When they were going to do any kind of work like this, they used to bring letters around to let you know what to expect. But we never had this kind of problem.
So you're disappointed and frustrated? That
very disappointed and very frustrated. Angry is the word, I should say. Past frustration, angry.
A&T Gardening is just one of several businesses impacted by the flooding today. While it is unclear at this point when this system will be fully restored, officials are asking its customers to be patient as they work aggressively to fix the problem. They also apologize for the inconvenience caused. Sieska Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Thanks so much, Sieska. Years of oil spills at Clifton Pier that BC has taken heat for have contributed to environmental degradation that government is hoping to counteract as it pushes forth its efforts to remove oil from the water and restore the area's marine environment. Officials are in the early stages of the remediation exercise, but Environment Minister, the Honorable Kendra Dorset, who outlines where they are now, says with a more environmentally aware Bahamas, they are on the right path. Cleopatra Murphy has more.
For more than a decade, Clifton Pier has been plagued with persistent oil spills, with residents complaining about crude oil leaking into the water. In January, government committed $10 million to remediation efforts and the removal of oil from the surrounding waters. Minister of Environment, the Honorable Kendra Dorset, says the first phase is underway as work crews from BEC installed new oil containment booms that are better suited for ocean conditions.
We have boats extracting oil that is coming out of the rock, and we also have teams now with commercial pumps pumping oil out of some of the storage, the pits that have oil in them.
Dorset says BEC storage tanks are being inspected and repaired where leaks are found. U.S. firm Coastal Systems International had suggested a wall to capture leaked oil, but that is on hold as the firm CH2M does its tests.
If we obviously address the source and if we remediate properly, there may not be a need to build the wall. Okay, and so I'm happy that everyone is in town and they're advancing this work. It's certainly been a long road for us. We've been working at this now for over a year and a half.
Dorset and Deputy Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Brave Davis visited the site Wednesday when the water was choppy. Those conditions usually posed a challenge for the old booms.
The oil would simply go over the containment booms, but with the primary and the secondary booms, they really appear to be holding and containing the oil. They have bulkheaded the containment booms to the rock. So that there is minimal opportunity for seepage, and so I'm pleased with what I've seen thus far, and so with the amount of boats that they had out there helping to remove and skim the oil with the new skimmers that we have acquired, hopefully we'll be able to keep that under control.
The Environment Minister says BEC has been the major culprit in the oil spills, but not the only one. Moving forward, he says remediation at the company's Clifton Pier plant is critical. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Debate continued in Parliament today on the Petroleum Bill and the Sovereign Wealth Fund Bill. Both are expected to modernize the sector and put in place updated regulations. Foreign Affairs Minister and Fox Hill MP, the Honourable Fred Mitchell, said while all explorations have turned up nothing so far, scientists and others are confident that there is oil in Bahamian waters, and based on that, we could be reaping great rewards.
Any government would be irresponsible if the revenue figures that they say could come from this can accrue to the Bahamian public, would be irresponsible not to have a regime to deal with this, because the country would be seriously underdeveloped and disadvantaged if we don't find some additional capital for our country. That's the point.
With an increase in the importation of unmanned aerial vehicles or drones, Transport and Aviation Minister Glenys Hanna Martin said as of February next year, all drones will have to be registered with the Department of Aviation. She said it's all in an effort to mitigate against the potential safety issues that may arise through the use of drones.
For UAVs that are currently in use within the Bahamas, they must be registered within the period 1st February to the 29th of February. And any new UAVs thereafter from the 1st February and in every single instance when it is imported or purchased within the Bahamas or imported into the Bahamas. Mr. Speaker, in order to import the UAVs into the Bahamas, the owner will have to have a certificate of registration from the Bahamas Department of Civil Aviation before Customs will release the imported UAV to the owner. The set of safety requirements on the certificate of registration will include rules as to the height and distance for a UAV to fly within proximity of airports or persons, among other things. Failure to register may result in the UAVs being confiscated by the Department of Civil Aviation.
Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner announced in Parliament today that she has received threats of death by way of a letter that was delivered to the Free National Movement headquarters. It's a matter that she said must not be taken lightly. MP for Marco City Greg Moss also lamented that parliamentarians and the wider community should stand up against these actions.
This is a very serious thing. Maybe some people think it's frivolous, some may think it's a joke, but these are what the last two lines said. Resign now, or we will stick you in your spine with an ice pick, then blow your head off with a blank neck. That what I do here is a service to the country, and if they want me to resign, I can do that. They don't have to stick me in my spine with a knife.
And that we denounce this in the strongest possible terms, and that we call on all of our supporters to act like right-thinking, honorable citizens of this country and leave political debates to us and not to involve themselves. I think to the extent that we do not take that kind of response to something like this, we are tacitly encouraging this. We do not want some idiot out there, some mentally disturbed person out there, to believe that they are doing what we want them to do.
The National Security Minister assured the House that an investigation will be conducted.
Members suggested that the letter must have been written by someone who supports someone in this House. That's the type of thing that we want to avoid. We don't know that. I said that we should, and I think we should hand it over to this for investigation. And let us try and find out the source, Mr. Speaker, before we get too guttural and incite a different kind of response by others. That's all.
Well.
Accused murderer Patrickita Rose took the stand in his own defense today, telling jurors that he never killed Dario China Knowles and doesn't know anything about it. 25-year-old Knowles was gunned down on Lincoln Boulevard and near Cardo Avenue 2 years ago. Meantime, Rose also told jurors that he has a clean police record and was never convicted of any crime. However, he admitted that he was questioned by police in the past in connection with multiple murders. When Crown Prosecutor Aaron Johnson suggested that Rose had been in trouble with the law before and had given evidence for the Crown in an armed robbery case, Rose never admitted that he had. Rose's co-accused Rashad Sullivan presented his defense Friday. Aaron Johnson and Darrell Taylor are prosecuting the case. Lennox Colby and Glendon Roll make up the defense. Justice Bernard Turner is presiding.